Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar. My name is Annie Acosta, and I'm the VP of Marketing here at Cogniz, and we are so excited that you're here to join us. We have a very brief webinar today for you, and we're going to show you how you can put the federal worker and federal contractor vaccine mandate policies into practice in as little as an hour. And we're so happy that you're able to be here with us today. Before I go ahead and introduce our speakers, I'd like to walk you through a few housekeeping items. First, so throughout the webinar, you're welcome to ask questions in the Q&A box at any time, and we'll get to as many of them as possible at the end. I wanted to let you know you'll also be receiving an email with the webinar recording within the next 2 business days. I'm very happy to present our 2 speakers today, Diehl and Sara, Joya. Barry's the Director of Enterprise Sales here at Cogniz, and he earned his Bachelor of Science degree in Occupational Safety and Health, and he's been consulting with companies for the past 20 years. Barry prides himself in helping clients solve business problems through emerging technologies like Cogniz, and he earned his CSP certification as well as his Professional in Human Resources designation as well. And Sara is the Manager of Customer Success at Cogniz. She's responsible for helping our clients identify and implement predictive safety solutions. Sara and her team have worked tirelessly to keep hundreds of thousands of our clients, employees, and contractors safe during this COVID pandemic, and she's excited to share some of their collective wisdom with you today. Unfortunately, last night, Sara's flight was canceled, and she was unfortunately rebooked for a flight during this very live webinar time. But she's kindly provided us a demo of what she had planned to present live today. So her portion will not be as interactive as we had planned, but she's also invited one of her colleagues, Patrick Monteith, from our customer success team also, who will be able to answer questions along with Barry at the end of the webinar. So we hope that you'll bear with us and you'll still get to hear both of our speakers today. Thank you. Barry, are you ready to go ahead and get started?
I am, Annie. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Good morning, everyone. You're here because of the executive order that requires federal employees and federal contractors to get their employees vaccinated against COVID-19. Cogniz is a software platform to help companies manage this mandate. And what this executive order means to you is that all of your employees have to be vaccinated as a condition of employment. It applies for healthcare workers across the country, federal employees and federal contractors, and is binding for federal workers under the executive branch. Many companies were already doing things around mandating vaccines. This executive order just put it in stone that it has to be done for all companies, so Cogniz is here to help. Let's talk about some of the challenges associated with the mandate. Some of the challenges that we're hearing, as you can imagine, we are talking to many prospective clients every day. Some of the challenges that they're sharing with us is there is and was no traditional platform for keeping a record of the vaccine platform that is easy for the employee as well as the employer. Cogniz has been around for more than 5 years, helping companies protect their employees and company assets with two-way mass communication, exchange of documents, and focused on worker safety. So our platform allows for interaction between employees and employers. One of the problems that we hear from companies is they want to make sure that the vaccine record that's being uploaded is a true vaccine card. First, that it's not a copy of someone's driver's license or library card. And if you employ thousands of people, that can be difficult to audit and to monitor. But secondly, as many of you know, I'm sure, counterfeit vaccine cards have become quite a business. So Cogniz artificial intelligence not only verifies that the vaccination card is not a driver's license or library card or something like that, but it also is programmed to know what the different fonts, the different print sizes are, so that it can help flag potentially counterfeit cards. The system will flag an actual Cogniz employee for a secondary verification in the event it notices an anomaly. Another challenge we hear is about record keeping and the paperwork associated with that. So knowing when someone's test has happened, knowing when their vaccine has happened, both the first and second, and when a booster may be due. If you have a lot of employees, that can be quite challenging. And you're trying to manage this on different systems without Cogniz. So you have an HRIS platform that has your employee roster with who is coming, who is going, and all that information. And then you have other platforms where you're trying to measure who sent you documents and are they correct, and keeping track of all those records. Cogniz is a single platform that can integrate with all of your other information platforms to manage this mandate under one platform. We are HIPAA certified, and we also maintain our SOC 2 compliance for privacy and security. So we help with accurate and timely reporting, and we can actually become your system of record when it comes to vaccine management. Let's talk about some of the ways that we do that. We can help you by setting up one-way APIs to get an employee change file from your HRIS platform. That is not going to send vaccination status into your HRIS platform, but it is going to extract employee changes as they come and go. We become a repository for all documents in the Cogniz Assure AI platform, where employees are able to easily and quickly upload their vaccine card through their mobile device or their PC. We make it so that two-way communication with employees can be automated. For example, the definition of fully vaccinated is one definition today and could be changed next week or next month. If fully vaccinated then is fully vaccinated plus a booster shot, we can train the artificial intelligence within the platform to automatically notify people when they need to upload proof of their booster shot. We have dashboards that Sara will show you that show real-time statistics with customizable widgets where you can see, based on location, based on department, anything you want as far as measuring the status of your employees' vaccination records. We have reports that are easily to print out in the event of an audit or to share with stakeholders, and those reports are customizable. So before we get into Sara's portion of the program, in a nutshell, Cogniz can help you with the employee churn of people going back and forth. We have a platform that makes it easy for employees to upload their vaccine card. The system verifies that it is an accurate card, and then we provide dashboards and reports that make it easy for you to monitor the status of your program. So now Sara's recording is going to show you what this looks like and how the platform works.
To put the vaccine mandate into practice, you need to go through 4 steps. The first step is to determine what you want to track. Most companies are choosing to track the vaccination manufacturer and the dates of the vaccination for their employees. And then obviously, along with that, information about whether or not the employees are fully vaccinated, have received their first dose, or are declining to answer, in which case they're going to need to be moved off of the federal contracts. Then, once you've determined what to track, it's time to start collecting that information so that you can get a good picture of who in your company is compliant and who needs to be moved off of the federal contracts or apply for a health or medical exemption. Once you've collected the records, it's also important to validate them, make sure that people are uploading things that are actually vaccination cards. Then you'll need to store them for the 30 years as required for personal health information, and to make sure that only people who are authorized have access to that employee health information. And ultimately, you'll need to be able to act on your reports and your results. The Cogniz Assure AI platform has the ability to help you with all 4 of these steps and help you maintain your compliance and prove your compliance for OSHA. We're going to begin today's demonstration after you've completed step 1, which is determine what to track. That process, Cogniz is able to help you with. We can make best practices recommendations about what other people have chosen to track and what information is often important. But it will be up to you to determine what exactly you care about. For example, are you interested in being able to track vaccination by department or by a location or by manager? Once you've determined what you want to track, then you can begin collecting that information. Cogniz has made it very simple for you to start collecting information from your employees and contractors by creating a simple, easy-to-use survey process. So when you begin a survey, the employee is going to receive an automated email from Cogniz. This is configurable by you to contain the language that you need to have for your compliance. And then the employee will click a unique link that is tied to that employee for them to begin the vaccination survey, where they're going to be able to provide you with their vaccination card. Cogniz has intentionally made this a very simple process for employees. We want to make sure that employees aren't overly burdened, but that you're able to collect the information that you need. And what you're about to see is a standard sample template for a vaccination survey, and the questions can be modified and the language can be modified to suit your needs. The other option for this vaccination survey is, rather than having it sent as an email or a text message to your employees, we can have the survey begin with a QR code placed around the office. So if your employees don't have a work email or aren't able to access their work email from home, they can come into the office with a mobile device and begin the survey, either at a kiosk that you provide or a tablet that you provide, or on their mobile device. They can scan the QR code, enter an employee identifier, and then begin this process. So here at the beginning, we have some basic instructions. This is often where our clients will include information about the mandate and the Biden administration's guidance and the reasons for the vaccination requirement. And then once the employee clicks to continue, we're going to ask about vaccination status. Have you received at least 1 dose of the COVID-19 vaccine? If they say no or prefer not to answer, then that will move that employee into another track where they're going to need to provide some type of exemption or information about being moved off of those federal contracts. If they say yes, however, then they're going to have the opportunity to upload a file. And they can do that by dragging and dropping. So for example, I'm going to just go ahead and drag and drop my CDC card into the system. You can see this validating CDC card prompt here. That's just telling the employee that this card, we have validated that it does have the CDC logo in the top right-hand corner, and that the information that we expect to see on the card is there. It's not actually extracting any of that information yet. It's just verifying that this is, in fact, a CDC vaccination card and not a picture of a driver's license or a picture of a spreadsheet or a picture of a dog. If the employee does not have the card on their phone that they can drag and drop, or on their computer that they can drag and drop it into the screen, there's also the ability to take a picture right as they're uploading. So rather than uploading, they could just snap a picture of their vaccination card on their phone or on the tablet provided. And then once they've submitted that, or once they've uploaded that information, it's as simple as clicking submit. And that is the end of the employee's responsibility when it comes to the vaccination card, unless they've only received one dose, in which case they need to repeat that process when they have received all of their vaccinations. So then, once that submission is received and the vaccine information is submitted, Cogniz Assure AI is going to go through and look at those cards. This is computer vision, artificial intelligence, looking at the vaccination cards and extracting the important information. So I'll show you what that looks like on the back end. So when these cards come through, it's going to show basic information about the person who submitted it. So Sara, Gioia. If you have employee birth dates that you're trying to validate against, it can show that. The location that person works, their employee ID. And then it shows the information that's been extracted from the card. So we have the doses, dose information, Moderna, and the dates that the vaccination was received. So Moderna, first dose was on 3/6, the second dose was on 4/3, 2021. All of that was extracted using optical character recognition that required no human entry of that information. But this, you'll see that it is flagged because the name that we expected did not match. So here in this case, we can see that the name is Jed Putterman. Jed Putterman is not the same person as Sara Gioia. And so the system is flagging this for a secondary review. Again, these secondary reviews are performed by Kogniz Assure AI team members, so that you can be confident in all of the vaccination cards that are in the system. You don't have to use any of your staff resources to validate this information. We are doing that for you. If I'm the validator, I can say, yep, this is a correct record because perhaps the name was just illegible, or maybe the person goes by a nickname and that's what was showing on the vaccination card rather than their proper first name. So whatever the reason is, we're going to be able to say accept or decline this card. If it's declined, then it's going to send a message back to that individual who uploaded it to say that there's a problem with their vaccination record. Please try again. If it's accepted, then that will populate the rest of. So here is the vaccination card that is created. This is my vaccine record with the information extracted from it using the optical character recognition, and then it creates and populates this vaccine card. So we can see that I am fully vaccinated. We see the dates of the first and second dose. We see the vaccine type. And then we also see this record validated information as well as cleared to work information. So these show that the record has been checked. This vaccination card has been verified by the Assure AI platform, either a human or the optical character recognition. and then cleared to work just means that this person has completed all of the paperwork. So the cleared to work would mostly apply in a case where somebody had a medical exemption and so needed to do some type of testing as an accommodation for a disability, for example. So cleared to work just indicates that this person has completed whatever the requirements are to be able to continue to work. We can also see that vaccination record, and then we can see a log of any changes that have been made to this record over time. So for example, if I had submitted my vaccination card after I took both doses and then I got a booster shot, then we'd be able to see that log. We would be able to see an additional booster dose field, and then we'd be able to see the log of when that booster dose occurred. So now we've seen the data collection element of it, we've seen the data storage element of it, and the optical character recognition and validation elements of it. Let's now look at some of the reporting that's possible within the Cogniz platform. Cogniz makes it really easy to report on the information that you want. We have a full suite of templated reports and dashboards to help you get to the vaccination information that you need. So for example, this dashboard is going to show vaccination by location. So in our example, this contractor, we're a federal contractor that has employees all over the United States and Canada, and we want to see where are the highest levels of vaccination and where do we maybe need to focus our vaccination outreach. So here we can see most of the vaccination is in this area. We can also zoom in a little closer if we want to know specifically what part of the country that we have vaccinations in. We can also see information like who has been cleared to work or who hasn't responded, as well as vaccination status. Who is vaccinated, who's declined to answer, who hasn't responded at all, vaccination or vaccine type, if that's an important metric for you. And we can also click in to any of these to get more detailed information. So I can click into here, and I can see a list of the individuals who are or are not vaccinated. I can also add things like their email address. So if I need to send an email to everybody who's not vaccinated or everybody who hasn't responded, then I have access to that right here. And not only are these dashboards visible when you first log into the platform, but they can also be scheduled to be emailed at a particular cadence. And you can also just access detailed reports immediately from the platform as well. So for example, many of our clients choose to have managers, team managers, have access to their particular team's information. We have the ability to allow those managers to come in and access information about their team and the vaccination status or just the cleared to work status for members of their team to make sure that their workforce is safe. Thank you so much for your time today. I've really appreciated being able to share with you how Cogniz can help you comply with the federal vaccine mandate, especially as it applies to federal contractors. If you have any questions, we are always here to help, and I look forward to speaking with you in person when I get off of this flight. Thanks so much. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Appreciate Sara putting that together for us. So what did Cogniz do prior to the vaccine mandate? For the last 5 years, as I said earlier, we've been helping companies with mass two-way notification around things like natural disaster, violence in the workplace, chemical spills and leaks, and any Department of Health outbreaks. So we use computer vision and artificial intelligence to serve as incidences that then create communications around notification of employees for events. How we're different than other providers when it comes to that, it is two-way communication. So in the event of an active shooter, weather event, or fire, it allows you to notify your team members and have them signal back to you that they are safe or out of the building. So Cogniz has a platform for helping with employee safety. Clients of Cogniz that use us for vaccine notification, vaccine mandate will also have access to this platform as a Cogniz client. Here are some use cases around our clients. It can be everything from security using computer vision, facial recognition, weapons detection, distribution and logistics, whether it's counting cars entering a facility, counting human beings enter and leaving a building to send notifications that companies desire. So again, if someone comes on with Cogniz as a client, they have access to a platform that uses cutting edge technology, computer vision, and artificial intelligence to help them protect their employees and the company assets. So.
Thanks so much, Barry. That was great to hear your perspective and also Sarah's. I wanted to see if we have any questions already. We're a little bit over time, but I'm going to see if we have any questions coming in. Yes, we do. So since we only have a little bit of time, I wanted to share that you can reach out to us at cogniz.com/contact with any follow-up questions you might have. You can fill those out on the form. We'd be happy to follow up. We do have time for 1 or 2 questions. Let's start with this one. Patrick, this would be a great one for you, and thanks for joining us. How long does it take to implement Cogniz? You said it could be as little as an hour. What does implementation typically look like?
Yes, well, so we can implement, in an hour, possibly if there's a dire need to get started. I'll say for a typical implementation, when we start working with a client, we provide an onboarding document that lets us know what data do we need to track, such as employee department, employee role. Once that form is sent back to Cogniz, typically we're seeing clients getting started in 2 to 3 business days. And some clients choose to take longer than that just because they have a target go live date. But Cogniz is typically ready to go 2 to 3 days after clients provide that initial data feed that we request.
Great. Thanks, Patrick. I have another one, but this one's for Barry. How different is this from other solutions in the market?
Yeah, thank you for that question. So the feedback that I'm receiving is the difference is the ability to communicate, but then also the verification of the card coming in to match and make sure that it is a true vaccine card, and then its efforts around making sure that it's not a counterfeit. And then finally, the ability to automatically notify folks when a booster shot is due, and to let administrators know the statuses of different departments or locations. So the automation around the notifications is a differentiator. Verifying the cards is a big deal. Not a lot of our competitors are doing that I hear. And then the dashboards and reports that you're able to build. So thank you for the question.
You're welcome. That concludes today's webinar. We want to thank you so much for attending and hope you have a wonderful day.